I am nowhere near the orbit of what my possibility was if I had self-discipline. My greatest enemy has been me.
Being a winner is a curse. It doesn't matter how much you've won before. You're not a winner until you win again. And again, and again. Nothing is enough. No one understands. And you never want it to stop.
A harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a very, very dangerous man who has that under voluntary control.
Well, greatness is when you make your delusions your reality. You know, something that's just totally unbelievable to the human imagination, and you make it your slave.
Everything comes down to how bad you want it. Only when the why is strong enough, the how stops being an excuse.
The question becomes this: can you be committed to the process of what you're doing without being emotionally attached to the results of what you're doing?
Suffering is an essential ingredient of the life that we humans are living. Ignoring, no way it's going to come back. Running away from it, impossible. The pain is running faster. There's only one way, I really think it is. You need to push through.
At some point, you're going to have to wake up and understand that any change you want to make is on you. And all of the time, all of the energy that you're pouring into seeking validation from others, chasing their opinions and their likes, and, you know, hoping that people are going to be happy with you and you're going to win them over, all of that is a waste of your precious life.
Put a player in survival mode and make his life difficult, he will create a paradise. But if you put a player on creative mode and give them easy times, that player will destroy the world.
Serious people don't wait to do the things they feel they need to do. When they get an idea that is so great that they know it must be executed on, they don't wait until Monday or till the beginning of the year. They do it now.
The problem with the hedonic route is that, so the pursuit of pure happiness, let's say, is that what makes you happy in the next minute might not be something that will make you happy in the next hour.
The quickest way, meaning to not waste lifetime, is when you really set up a schedule and just do the work. Free from how you feel. Because also feelings, sometimes you wake up one day, you feel this way, you wake up the next day, you feel another way. And it's just not helpful to base your structure or your goal on how you feel. So, and this is where I think where, for example, discipline, meaning you stick to what you put there on paper.
Your mind will always choose the path of least resistance. We put so much stuff in our brain gets overloaded, so it wants to choose the path of least resistance. We have to train our minds to choose the path of most resistance.
The only thing that can kill iron is its own rust. All right? So don't let your mind cause your own destruction. All right? Be the light in the fucking darkness. Be the fucking catalyst for change.
There's all kinds of reasons why not to do something in life, and people can come up with a million evaluations and invalidations, and I tell every single person, it's better to have done it and tried than never to just sit here and wish you had or thought about it. So out there creating, you all just keep creating. Like, don't ask permission to do it, just do it. So don't wait till everything's perfect, because it's never going to be perfect. People aren't perfect, life isn't perfect, but you want to go at it, and it's better to do it. And better to do it and go, oh, I made mistakes, and then learn from those mistakes and go out and do it again. And do it again and again and again.
You're not going to want to hear this, but I'm going to tell you this as a friend. You're not where you want to be yet, because you haven't yet become the type of person who's capable of achieving it. There's no shortcut, there's no course, there's no person who's going to come along and get you there for you. You have to get yourself there. You have to become the type of person who's capable of achieving the type of things that you want.
That's life. It's not supposed to be fair. It's not supposed to be an easy sell of it. It's the challenges of it that make it worthwhile. It's the memories, it's the feeling of despair. How you got nothing left and no one's around to help and you're at the bottom of the barrel. That feeling so ingrained and so depressing that it flips the coin on itself and turns into the fuel, the internal drive, the motivation to see something through, to get out of that shitty situation.
Do you have the mental, do you have the physical abilities to push through? And if you say no, well, then we need to develop them.
As long as you get a chance, you're the one to blame if it doesn't work out for you. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, like, what do I got to do to get better? What do I have to do to earn the trust of my teammates and coaches? Go ask them. Go figure it out. Work harder. Work on the physical. Work on the mental. Work on the emotional. Have the humility to look in the mirror and self-evaluate. And I don't think a lot of people do that.
So, and this struggling of there are still so many distractions every day coming up. No, but you stick to the plan. You stick to your plan. This is what I feel like is a part of discipline. To do what you have committed yourself to, also meaning you don't do the things you already know are not good for you.
The urgency you feel to be where you want to be is impatience. As long as you get 1% better today, as long as you do one thing that moves the needle in the direction of where you want to be, you'll get there eventually. And any time spent beating yourself up over not being there yet is just impatience.
It's dangerous to dwell on past mistakes because people sort of define themselves by the worst moments that they've ever had. And if that's the case, like some people are stuck in high school. They're stuck in failures that they had like when they're first getting jobs, and they always think that they're a loser, and they don't like the feeling of failure, so they keep low expectations so that they never have to feel that. You gotta get through it.
Now see anything is possible and that you could train for anything. There's nothing you can't do. You can't be the best in the world at something, but you can be a lot better than you are at anything you want to put the time into learning. Whatever it is, you could do anything.
Stay away from the haters, stay away from the losers, stay away from the people with weak minds and weak mentalities. And find those people that empower you, find those people that elevate your spirit and your soul, and understand that your potential, my friend, is limitless. You, my friend, are limitless, but you must believe. And if you can believe, all things are possible.
Believe you're the best, because when you embrace that belief, you turn the impossible into the inevitable. Believe with such intensity that your very presence becomes pressure, that your discipline becomes contagious, that even in silence, people feel it. Believe you're the best, because if you don't, who will?
Where success is the greatest form of revenge. When someone says no and you say yes, and even though you get beat down, one day you rise above it. Knowing how you felt at one time. Knowing how you feel now. One of the beautiful highs of life. From dark to light. From unknown to fame.
Trauma, tragedy, darkness. They leave marks that never fully fade. They change you in ways you never asked for, ways you never wanted. And when you're in the middle of it, when the weight of it presses down on you, it feels impossible to move, impossible to breathe. Like the light you once had inside you has been snuffed out, and all that's left is this endless shadow. But let me tell you something. You're still here, and that means something. It means the darkness didn't win. It means you've already survived what you thought you couldn't. It means that no matter how broken, how hurt, how lost you feel, there is still something inside you. Something strong, something unyielding, something that refuses to give up. Trauma changes you, yes, but it doesn't have to define you. The truth is, life will break you. It will tear you apart in ways you can't predict, in ways you didn't prepare for. But the breaking, that's not the end. The breaking is where the rebuilding begins. The breaking is where you find out what you're made of, what you're capable of, what you can endure and still rise from. It's easy to feel like your trauma, your tragedy, your pain are the end of your story. Like you'll never be whole again. Like the person you were before is gone forever. And maybe they are. Maybe you'll never be the same. But who says that's a bad thing? Who says the person you're becoming, the person who's learning to rise from the ashes, who's rebuilding themselves piece by piece, isn't stronger, wiser, more resilient?
There's a Japanese art called kintsugi. When a piece of pottery breaks, it's not thrown away. It's repaired carefully, lovingly, with gold. The cracks aren't hidden. They're highlighted, transformed into something beautiful. The piece becomes more valuable, not despite its brokenness, but because of it. That's you. Your scars, your pain, your history, they don't make you less. They make you more. But here's the thing. Healing isn't a straight line. It's not a neat process with clear steps and a perfect ending. It's messy. It's full of setbacks, of moments where it feels like you're moving backward, of days when the darkness feels like it's swallowing you whole. And that's okay, because healing isn't about never feeling the pain again. It's about learning how to carry it, learning how to live alongside it without letting it consume you. You don't have to erase the darkness to find the light. The two can coexist. And in time, you'll realize that the darkness doesn't make the light any less real. If anything, it makes it shine brighter. But here's the hard part. Healing takes work. It takes courage. It takes showing up for yourself, even on the days when you don't want to. Even on the days when it feels pointless. Even on the days when you'd rather stay in the darkness because it's familiar, because it's easier than facing the light. Healing means taking small, deliberate steps toward yourself, toward the person you're becoming, toward the life you still deserve to live.
And you do deserve it. No matter what's happened to you, no matter what you've lost, no matter how broken you feel, you deserve joy. You deserve peace. You deserve to build a life that feels like your own, even if it doesn't look like the life you had before, especially if it doesn't. But let's be honest, the world isn't always kind to people who've been through trauma. It doesn't wait for you to catch up. It doesn't give you the time or space to heal. And that's why you have to be kind to yourself. You have to give yourself the grace, the patience, the compassion that the world won't. You have to remind yourself that healing isn't a race, that there's no timeline, no deadline, no finish line you have to reach. Healing isn't about becoming the person you were before. It's about becoming the person you're meant to be now. A person who has walked through the fire and come out the other side. A person who has faced the darkness and refused to let it win. A person who carries their scars not as reminders of what they've lost, but as proof of what they've survived. And here's the truth. The darkness doesn't go away overnight. There will be moments, maybe days, maybe weeks, maybe longer, when it still feels overwhelming, when the weight of it feels unbearable. But those moments don't mean you're failing. They don't mean you're broken. They mean you're human. And being human means you get to feel the pain and the joy, the loss and the love, the darkness and the light. You are not your trauma. You are not your tragedy. You are the person who's learning to live again, despite them. You are the person who's choosing to move forward, one step at a time, even when it feels impossible. You are the person who refuses to let the worst moments of your life define the rest of your life.
That is strength. That is resilience. That is power. So if you're in the darkness right now, if you're carrying the weight of trauma, of loss, of pain, I want you to know this. You are not alone. You are not broken beyond repair. And this moment, this is not the end of your story. This is the chapter where you begin again. This is the chapter where you start to rewrite your narrative, not as a victim, but as a survivor. Not as someone who's defined by their pain, but as someone who's shaped by it, strengthened by it, transformed by it. The darkness is real, yes, but so is the light. And as long as you're still here, as long as you're still breathing, as long as you're still willing to take one step forward, there is hope, there is healing, there is a future waiting for you. A future that's not defined by what you've been through, but by what you choose to do next. So rise, not all at once, not perfectly, but steadily, surely, powerfully. Rise. The light is waiting.
99% of people in the world are convinced that they're incapable of achieving great things, so they aim for the mediocre. The level of competition is thus fiercest for realistic goals, paradoxically making them the most time and energy consuming. If you are insecure, guess what? The rest of the world is too. Do not overestimate the competition and underestimate yourself. You are better than you think.
I've seen great dudes like you who have so much potential, and you can create so much change and solve so many problems for the world, literally sitting there suffering in silence because you fail to take action and you fail to execute on what you know you need to. Remember this, that average is the enemy, that success is your responsibility, and change can take place in an instant if you are willing to flip the switch.
You're not alone, man. You know, we're only alone when we find ourselves alone. We got to remember to get out there. Nobody's going to come and just help us be on alone. We have to do it. Nothing changes if nothing changes, you know? So if I want something to be different, I have to do something different.
Someone is dying to be your age. Someone is dreaming of living your worst day. Someone is wishing they had your apartment. Someone is hoping they had your health. Someone is working to get to where you are. Remember, yesterday you asked for what you have today.
The world belongs to optimists, because if you're going to do anything big, you have to believe that it can happen. Otherwise, it never will. Sean Puri says the cynics get to be right and the optimists get to be rich. 99% right and 100% wrong. They're right 99% of the time, but they're wrong 100% because the only thing that matters is the big one at the end. Your family and friends will say that every girl you ever date is not good enough, except for the one time you find a girl that you're actually going to marry, or that this business idea won't work, and you might have 9 failures. My first 9 businesses didn't really amount to anything. 9, as in the first one, I spent time on it, it failed. Second one, this one will be different, spent time on it, failed. And then the third one, this one, failed. And then 6 more after that. And it's painful as shit because the whole time everyone is telling you, I told you so. And they're right. Today, but not forever.
It's Christmas morning, and I know today for a lot of you is a big reminder of the people in your life. And I know for some, it's a reminder of who isn't. Wherever your mind goes, please recognize that today is a great opportunity to care for yourself, to give the gift of treating today like it matters is the best thing you could do for you. because like any other day, it does do something hard to prove that even on a day like this, you can show up.
And I think that too many people do this. Why can't the world be more convenient for me? Well, the world is uncaring and doesn't care about you at all. And underpinning that statement is the entitlement, is the expectation that it somehow should. And I think that is a poverty lens. And so the wealthy accept the world for what it is and then choose to maximize and adapt. Everyone else tries to stomp their feet and throw tantrums and say how it's not fair. And they're right. And so what? There's a Haitian proverb that I think is relevant right now, which is, behind mountains are more mountains. Goals aren't finish lines, they're mile markers. And I think that's a great mental frame, which is that you think that your goal is to get to $10,000 a month, or $100,000 a month, or $1 million a month, or $10 million a month, whatever your goal is. And I can promise you, having hit those, you just move it again. The mist lifts when you get there and you realize there's another mountaintop. But where people lose their way is when they start listening to people at the bottom of the mountain who see them at the subhead and say, you weren't happy last time when you got to the last peak. Why are you going to be happy the next time? But that's under their assumption in their poverty lens that you did it to get to the mountaintop. You did it for the climb, and they'll never understand that, and don't expect them to.
A man matures through early mornings, late nights, pain, losses, disrespect, disappointments, deep reflection, and moments of loneliness with just you. Age has very little to do with it, as you can meet a man who's 23 and a boy who's 35. Because always remember, it's the days that break a man, which are the days that make a man.
Always believe and you will achieve whatever it is that you want. Never quit halfway through something. Continue to move forward and finish it. Not quit, because nothing comes easy. It's all about never quitting and never giving up. Not winning all the time, because winning isn't everything. Sometimes when you get defeated, it makes you stronger and wants to make you want to come back and work harder for it. And you respect yourself more for this.
You need an alter ego. A version of you that's limitless. Make your weaknesses their strength. Make your insecurity their confidence. Give them a name. Give them traits. Create an amazing character. When you need them, let them take over. And eventually, you won't need to pretend. It will just be you.
What are your fears costing you? I think it's time to evaluate that. What are your fears costing you? You know, we have these weights that weigh us down in our life, these burdens, these fears that we have. Do you ever stop to think about what it's actually costing you to have these anchors and these weights wearing you down, these fears? The price you will pay to become the person you're worthy of is infinitely smaller than the price you're gonna pay if you don't.
It's gonna be you meeting the expectation you have for yourself as a man. So you envision this man that you're gonna become. And I think most people do that from an early age. They see something they want, an avatar, something they wanna do, and they wanna go become that person. And I believe the formula for happiness and fulfillment is the gap between your expectation of who you become and your reality. And so a lot of guys are not meeting that expectation for themselves.
If I can flip these insecurities upside down, if I can flip this fear, if I can flip all this that made me this depressed, insecure guy, if I can flip it and make it work for me versus against me, I started seeing the power in failure, the power in insecurity, the power in self-doubt, because I started using that as power.
You understand what it's like to have people tell you that you can't do it. And I'm gonna tell you something, and this is the fucking truth. This is the reality. And if you don't like it, I don't give a The truth is this. If you're willing to pay the price, and you're willing to do the work, and you're willing to take the time, and you're willing to consistently get up when you are knocked down over and over and over again, which is going to happen to you if you're pursuing anything outside of the norm, you can make it here.
We surround ourselves around people that make us feel great, that tell us what we want to hear. The second we put ourselves amongst the uncommon people, we don't like that feeling. We don't want that person who's constantly challenging our weaknesses.
Because life is a marathon, and this might be a challenging leg where you're like, I'm just gonna throw in the towel. I'm not gonna do that thing. Hell no. You are doing so much.
Many of us have genius within us. But when it comes to us, when it comes to using our genius in our own behalf, taking a chance with our own creativeness, acting on our own dreams and ideas, somewhere along the line we get paralyzed. We find some reason not to do it. Oh, I did that. I'm not as good as they are. I don't have their education.
As long as I don't stop trying, it is not failure, it is temporary defeat. And the path to success, the path to fulfillment, the path to happiness is filled with temporary defeats. The path to sadness, the path to regret is filled with failure. Men and women who failed and gave up instead of gotten up and tried again and looked at it as temporary defeat.
How many of you had some situations that you were in that you were overwhelmed with fear? You didn't know how you're going to come out, how you're going to survive, and you did. You survived and you didn't die. So what you got to do, whatever that was, whatever that state of consciousness, whatever that self-confidence that you had, however you stood up within yourself, here's what we know, you survived. Here's what we know, you're still here. You didn't die, you're here right now. You got it and you handled that fear. You kicked it out of there.
You can find every reason if you look for it as to why you won't make it. But at the end of the day, there's going to be two groups of people. And one group is going to be a lot fucking bigger than the other group. The one group is going to get told that they can't do it. And instead of fighting, those people are going to just take it. Then there's going to be a smaller group. It's going to be the group that says, I'm not willing to just roll over and take what I'm given. I'm not willing to stop trying because you say that I can't fucking do it.
You know, I don't think God gave you another day in your life because you needed it. I think He added another day to your life because somebody needed you. But here's the thing. They need the real you, the authentic you. The one who's playing all out in their life and pursuing their dreams. As good as you think it'll be to make your dreams come true, and dreams that you can't even imagine right now, visions of your life, but maybe even more importantly, as good as you think it would feel to meet the real you, the one you were born to be, and remember this, you were born to do something great with your life, but to finally get introduced or reacquainted or reintroduced to that person. Maybe you years ago knew them very well, that version of you, but things have happened, these anchors, these fears, these toxic relationships, whatever they might be, these disappointments in our life.
And so as you begin to look at the fears in back of you, you came through those fears and you're still here. See, that's a testament about how powerful you are. And so whatever the volcano is, you have the capacity to take that volcano on, the capacity to jump in it and find your true identity.
I don't care where you come from. I don't care where you were raised. If you do the work consistently, if you invest in yourself consistently, it's going to pay off. It just is. And you'll never convince me otherwise.
Yes, you may be not where you want to be. The difference that you have now is you have the awareness that you want to do something about it.
We want that person who's constantly, making us feel nice and good and secure in ours. That's the mediocrity of life. We want to be the best amongst the average people. People wonder, how do you stay hungry all the time? Because after I accomplish something, I don't sit back like they get comfortable. They wonder why I'm getting weak, man. I don't know, I lost my edge. What's going on? Because once you hit the top of the mountain, guess what happened? I'm good. I'm good, so you wonder why you're falling down now. You gain knowledge through suffering. And on the other end of suffering is a world that very few have ever seen.
The fire of motivation, the fire of trying to achieve something for a better version of yourself is something that if you practice it long enough, you can recall it. Because you have that fire inside of you. Strong mind goes together with strong body. I think there is a similarity with it, because you cannot reach to have a strong body if there is not the fuel behind it that gave you the push, the motivation to do so in order that you finally develop in that direction.
If you're struggling right now and you're having a hard time and you're pissed off and you're frustrated, know two things. One, you're not alone. Two, this is necessary for you to get where you want to go. And if you quit, if you falter, if you stop, all of the pain will be for nothing. And you need to remember that.
When it feels scary to jump, Ian, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life, and that I can't do.
What do you do when you don't have people to turn to? What do you do when you don't have the support system you once had? What do you do when you feel like you're less of a person because of the struggle you're in, and if you told people, they would look at you oddly? What do you do when your pride is at stake? What you do is you stop living on pride and you start digging inside. Start to believe that the same way you got in this hole, there's a path out of it. The work it took, the things that happened that brought you to this situation are not greater than the skill set that is within you. What is you have in your hand? If you dug yourself into a hole, you still have your hands. Put your hands to work, put your faith to work, put your heart into it. The same way you dug your way into the hole, you can take that same path out of the hole.
Which is, use what you have. And a lot more people have pain, a lot more people have anger, a lot more people have shame. And if you can use that as your gas in the beginning, you'll eventually get to a point where you can get out of that loop and then find something that you are really passionate about. But if you can't tie your shoes, you can't lift the weight, you can't send the DM, then you have to start with whatever you have.
You're worried about something that someone did to you years ago. You're being a pussy to yourself, man. You're not getting out there and squeezing that fucking soul out every day. I ain't got time about you, man. Because tomorrow, I gotta go back to the grind. And tomorrow, I go back to the grind again, and again, and again, and again. I don't have time to put you into the hate bank. There's no hate. It's all filtered out, man, through the grind.
If there is something that you can to 100% adjust and control in this life, it can only be yourself. If there is something which is 100% in your control, it must be yourself. What else should it be? And so if you think there is a possibility to master something, to take responsibility of something, then I think it must be related first of all to your being.
You know how you got there. You know the situations, you know the circumstances, you know how it began to overwhelm you. Since you know that, put the knowledge to use. Stop being afraid of it. Don't create this monster that you think that you can't face. The idea of going broke, if you've been broke, you're at the bottom. If you're at the bottom, you can look up. And if you can look up, you can get up. And if you can get up, you can stay up. And if you can stay up, you can climb up. And if you can climb up, you can create a platform.
And if you don't get up in the morning when you're feeling tired, scared, if you don't execute, you're not just cheating yourself, dude. You're cheating your family. You're cheating your whatever you're a part of. It's bigger than you, man.
Short-term thinking says one workout doesn't matter. I can skip it. Short-term thinking encourages you to make short-term emotional decisions that hurt you in the long run. The further from the path you will stray.
Decide to live your fantasy. See, in life, you can go through life, you can come up with reasons or you can come up with results. You can come up with excuses or you can come up with achievements. You can go through life blaming or you can come up with solutions. The choice is in your hands, satisfaction or despair. We can choose that.
Your dreams are just around the corner, but you gotta get out of the nightmare. You see, the greatest thing that you have is you. It's the tool that God gave you.
There's not one person that you look up to, not one, that gets up every day and says, this is fucking amazing. I can't wait to do this, no matter what they tell you on social media. They still have bad days. They still have days where they want to do something else. The difference is they don't, because they're committed. You can be the person who's committed. You can be the person who says, this is going to fucking work no matter what happens, no matter how frustrated I get, no matter how angry I get, no matter what, I'm fucking doing this. Those are the people that are gonna win.
When it's time, you'll know. Trust me, when that moment comes, the feeling is unmistakable. So no matter how dark things might get, never forget that you are the light. You can pull yourself out of any situation, but it's gonna take effort. It's gonna take putting in the work when no one's watching or even cheering you on. Stop looking outside yourself to conquer that voice within. You have what it takes. Now go make it happen.
I'm telling you, the moment you truly decide to commit to self-mastery, to becoming your 2.0 self, to really elevating to the highest version of yourself, you will lose 99% of your friends. And the reason for that is you will scare them because they will not understand why you're so committed to self-development, self-actualization, becoming a better human. You won't have things in common anymore, right? Because if you are trying to transcend to self-mastery, to develop as a better human, and so in your process, in your journey of self-development, you will lose 99% of your friends.
Pretty soon you win. Pretty soon you'll fucking win. If you have the courage and the heart and the dedication and the mindset about everybody can go fuck themselves.
Most important question to ask yourself is what pain are you willing to endure in your life, rather than what pleasure do you want? So whatever pursuit it is that you're going through, whatever challenges are placed in front of you, realize that there is value in stepping outside of their comfort, but on the other side of discomfort is something valuable. We're told that worthwhile things are difficult to attain, because if they weren't difficult to attain, they wouldn't be worthwhile.
And really ask yourself that question. What is it essentially that you are looking for living this life? How much of where you want to go did you achieve already? And also, are you actually still finding yourself on the way to wherever you wanted to go?
If you're not being defined by a vision of the future, then you are left with the memories of your past and you'll be predictable in your life. If you're not creating anything new, that means you're believing in your past more than you're believing in your future. So then if the person is living in anger, impatience, resentment, frustration, and they're holding the intention of their future, they're waiting for their success to feel abundance or empowerment, they're waiting for their new relationship to feel love. Well, that's the old model of reality of cause and effect, waiting for something outside to change how we feel inside. And if you're living in that lack and you know that you're creating your future, you're creating more lack. And if you're reacting to the people and conditions in your life that are all known to you, then your thoughts and feelings are equal to everything that you know. You keep creating the same life.
One entire year has just passed. Look at yourself in the beginning of this year compared to right now. Are you any different? Are you the same guy that you were in the beginning of the year? Try to make sure that this year you at least change something up, right? If years and years pass and you're just the same dude, then you're not really living in a way. I kind of feel like you're just being pushed through life.
Intentionally act like the person you want to become. Because when you intentionally act like the person you want to become, your brain sees you taking those actions, so your brain starts to change the way it relates to you.
You know, that first, step, when you really decide, all right, I got to start changing things, it is very uncomfortable because you're going to start doing things that aren't the norm in your life. You're going to have to let go of old ways, let go of old habits, and start stepping in and implementing new ones. And that is a very uncomfortable process because you're stepping into the unknown. You're stepping into something that your body is not familiar with. But at the end of the day, it's so rewarding in the long run. And if you can just stick it out through that first step where it gets really uncomfortable, on the flip side of that is everything that you want in life. It's the relationship, it's the job, it's the situation, it's the environment, it's the community.
Don't resent tough times. When life hands you adversity, it's not to expose how weak and vulnerable you are. It's to push you to become more resourceful and show you that you're capable of making it through what once felt impossible. Your battles are intended to build your character, not destroy your spirit. There is growth in your struggle, so just keep pushing.
With our thoughts, we create the world. That means there is something powerful about you. If you are disciplined, if you do the proper things, if you stay determined, stop the laziness, chances are very high that many of the goals that you're setting to yourself will become true.
What are you willing to sacrifice, and what are you willing to give up to find every bit of who you are as a human being? There's no hacks, bro. It's you against you. You against you. And if you misunderstand that, you have a real problem. So the things that are important to you in life, you must do always, or you're nobody.
It's impossible to increase your mental toughness if you're afraid of failure. It's impossible to increase mental toughness if you don't get outside of your comfort zone. It's impossible to increase mental toughness if you don't do hard things. It's impossible to increase mental toughness if you don't throw yourself into the fire just to find out who you are on the other side of it. To throw yourself into the deep waters just to find out who you are on the other side.
Being fearless means putting yourself out there and going for it. No matter what, go for it. Not for anybody else, but for yourself.
So many lives would transform overnight if they realized, my life sucks, I have nothing going for me, really means I have nothing to lose, and that makes you a very dangerous person.
When is it gonna change? What are you waiting on? Are you waiting for something major to happen, something heartbreaking to happen, something drastic to happen? Why you gotta wait for it when it's right in front of your face?
We're scared to dive into our lives, what made us who we are. The beautiful people that we are, we're all jacked up in so many ways. That's the beauty of us.
I want you to know that you can be whatever you've been envying. Instead of you looking at someone else's success, engaging and wondering, how did they do it and why haven't I done it? Instead, look at them and say, if they did it, I can do it. Look at them and realize that they are the preview and you are the full movie. The greatness that is in you hasn't been tested yet. That's why you don't have a testimony.
The idea of reaching this golden year, it's a very flawed idea because it's an idea that you're going to work hard, but then you're going to reach the finish line. But there's no finish line. No. It doesn't exist.
Your mind is a very strange thing. As soon as you give it a name, a genuine aim, it'll reconfigure the world in keeping with that aim. You have to be genuine about the aim, but once you aim, the world will reconfigure itself around that aim.
Success comes down to doing the obvious thing for an extraordinary period of time without convincing yourself you're smarter than you are.
I don't care if you have to inch your way day by day. Even if you have to get down and it hurts and it's hard and nobody can see what you're really going through. If you don't quit, the pit will become your platform.
Being from a disciplined family does not make you a disciplined person. What makes you a disciplined person is choosing to be disciplined.
Cannot have a story without having lowlights. Every time that you find yourself in a negative situation with negative things happening around you, understand that this is going to be a great chapter. You just got to stay on your book.
But my thesis in life is it doesn't matter who you are today. It certainly doesn't matter how you were born. The only thing that matters is who you want to become and the price you're willing to pay to get there.
The way you've defined yourself really controls you. And so it can be to your advantage. So if your thing is I find the way, you're gonna find the way. If your thing is I always end up losing, or people hate me, or I put things off, or whatever your identity is, if it's a negative identity, that is what's controlling your life.
I know I can control my effort. I can't control everybody's effort. I can control my attitude. I can't control everybody's attitude. I can't control me keeping my word. I can't control everybody keeping their word.
And they'll tell you, you did the best you could. No, they'll say that the deck was stacked against you. And they'll say it's not your fault. And they'll tell you it's okay to stop. It's okay to settle. It's okay to give up. And that is the instinct you need to fight. You need to push back, to smash into the ground.
We create what we focus on. Where focus goes, energy flows, but most people are focusing on what they have to do, not what they can do. They're focusing on what is versus what they're here to create. What makes you a leader is you see things as they are, but then you see it better than it is, and you make it the way you see it. You come up with that vision and you make it happen.
As a whatever you want to be, you've got to get so good at that thing that when people see you do it, you make them experience the most potent human emotion, and that is awe. To get that good is a terrifying journey of self-discovery and confronting who you really are. Because you cannot make change until you acknowledge where you're actually at.
Don't have time to regret. We move on.
because we are acceptable for what we are, not what we think we should be.
If you are going through a ton of things right now, it's because you are a great warrior. You're being developed, you're being trained for a special mission in life. So begin to imagine yourself doing more. Begin to imagine yourself becoming more. Begin to dream about the thing you want to do and then make it reality by putting dates and times to accomplish it. Give yourself less than a year to do it. Give yourself 6 months and you will. If you give yourself 1 day, you will have a day one. Day one, you begin it, you're on your way. Stop saying 1 day, make it day one. Stop thinking that time will finally surrender something to you and go and make time give it up.
Do not take the easy way out. Do not give up based on instinct, your instinct. Train it to say, get up. Go. Fight on. And if that is what you become, if that becomes your fundamental reaction to adversity, if that becomes your gut instinct, then you will overcome just about anything that stands in your path.
Nobody is going to give you anything that you have not earned. Nobody cares how tough your upbringing was. Nobody cares if you suffered some discrimination. You have to remember that whatever you've gone through, it pales in comparison to the hardships previous generations endured, and they overcame them. And if they overcame them, you can overcome them too.
Dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals, life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. Hard work works.
Weakness. Do I have weakness? I am nothing but weakness. I'm not naturally strong or fast or flexible. I'm certainly not the smartest person in the world. Now, all that being said, I have a saying. A person's strength is often their biggest weakness, but their weaknesses can become strengths. Me, I am weak. In all those ways, I am weak.
And everything goes against you until it seems that you cannot hold on for a minute longer. Never give up then, for that is just the place and time that the tide will turn. Never give up then, and that is so important. When you're working on doing the things you want to do and fulfilling your dream, and things happen, there are times when your energy feels so depleted that you want to give up, that it looks just totally impossible. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, don't give up then. That's when you've got to fall forward, when life is kicking dirt in your face. Don't give up then. That's when most people turn back. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what gives your life meaning. That you're going to start working on that dream. You're going to work and nurture that idea.
You need an antidote to suffering, and
has to be deep. And deep moves you tectonically, and it's not a trivial thing. But that's better than happiness. And maybe if you're lucky, while you're pursuing that and while you're immersed in it, you get to be happy, and you should fall on your knees and be grateful for that when it happens. It's a gift. It really is a gift. And it comes upon you unexpectedly, your happiness. But you aim to climb uphill to the highest peak you can possibly envision. And that's better than happiness.
The time is now for it to be okay to be great. People in this world shun people for being great, for being a bright color, for standing out. But the time is now to be okay to be the greatest you.
The most important conversation is the one you have with yourself. You wake up with it, you walk around with it, you go to bed with it. Eventually, you act on it. When your mind knows it's not going to quit, and this is what I found out, this is my 40% rule. When your mind knows it's not going to quit, your body will adapt to whatever is in front of it.
I don't accept that I am what I am, and that is what I am doomed to be. No, I do not accept that. I'm fighting. I'm struggling, and I'm scraping and kicking and clawing at those weaknesses to change them.
That we as human beings are capable of anything, and we don't need any special kind of parents or tools to get there. So I end you with this: don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done.
You must have faith. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your abilities. You've got to believe in your service, your company, your ideas, unquestionably. You've got to have faith, and that faith gives you patience. That it's not going to happen as quickly as you want it to happen. A lot of things are going to happen that will catch you off guard. And so therefore you've got to deal with and handle it as it comes. And not only that, but that faith and patience drives you into action.
It's about the daily labor, the many individual acts, the choices large and small that add up over time, over a lifetime, to a lasting legacy. That's what you want on your tombstone. It's about not being satisfied with the latest achievement, the latest gold star, because the one thing I know about a body of work is that it's never finished. It's cumulative. It deepens and expands with each day that you give your best, each day that you give back and contribute to the life of your community. You may have setbacks and you may have failures, but you're not done. You're not even getting started. Not by a long shot. To find the greatness that lies within each of us. So don't ever shy away from that endeavor. Don't stop adding to your body of work. I can promise that you will be the better for that continued effort.
You don't want no responsibility. It's wrong. People find the meaning in their life by adopting responsibility. You know, they say man does not live by bread alone. And there's wisdom in that. It's like you don't want no responsibility. You might dream about that if you're crushed by your job. But then you have the wrong job, or you have the wrong attitude, or you have the wrong job and the wrong attitude. I don't know what it is. You want lots of responsibility, and society needs to foster that, and we need to help people find their purpose and their place.
If your personality creates your personal reality, and it does, and your personality is made up of how you think, how you act, and how you feel, then the present personality has created the present personal reality called their life. Which means if you want to change your personal reality, nothing changes in your life until you change.
Take action that improves your long-term position and moves you toward your long-term goals. Figure out where you want to go. Figure out who you want to be. Figure out what you are trying to do with your life.
Today is about putting on the right mindset. It's to get up and decide that I'm not going to pretend to be rich. I'm not going to fake it till I make it. I am going to be authentic and chase down these goals and dreams. I'm not going to try to borrow confidence by putting on shoes that cost more than what I can afford, or throw something across my shoulders with a name brand and think that somehow I've made it because of what I put on me. No, I'm going to make it because of what I have in me.
Stay on the goddamn path and be careful. Because if you start to mess around and you deviate, especially if you know that you're deviating, things are not going to go well for you.
You need to win battles in order to win the war. You need to get out of bed, you need to run, you need to work out, you need to read and study and practice, and you need to do things that you don't necessarily want to do. And I know that can be hard. That's why people lose the war. That's why people never achieve their strategic goals. They lose the little tactical battles, the death of 1,000 cuts.
You have to look in the mirror and remind yourself, yes, I am broke now, but I'm fixing what is broken. I'm speaking to myself so that I can address it. I'm giving myself therapy by going in the gym. I'm fixing my finances. I'm fixing my mindset. I'm fixing my surroundings and my atmosphere.
Every single day, man, getting up, and as cliche as it sounds when you tell a person, hey man, don't take life for granted, right? And I kind of hear it go in one ear, go out the other. But bro, one of the most underrated blessings is leaving your house and making it back home every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's an underrated blessing that we just assume it's gonna happen. And every single day, cats leave the crib and they don't make it back to their children. They don't make it back to their spouses. But we leave our house every single day. We just assume, like, man, I'm gonna make it back. I'll see you later, right? And it's like, man, who promised you that? It's that, man, every single day, all that comes with it, right? Highs, lows, successes, failures, right? Tough moments, right? Great moments, all that comes with it, the totality of it. Appreciate all of it, right? Because we need all of it in terms of our development and the people that we're striving to become. And I say striving because we're constantly evolving.
But what's the point of doing something that doesn't work? I'm not telling you you should do only what works. Do whatever the hell you want. But for your life, because it's a limited amount of time, what is the point doing something that does not work, isn't it? Either it should work for you or it should work for people around you. If it doesn't work for you and anybody around you, what is the point of doing that damn thing?
Coming more by putting myself around better people, better thought processes, a mindset of winners instead of losers. I will not give up, I will not give in. I'm about to take charge of my life.
Think strategic all the time. Now that you know what you're trying to achieve, ask yourself this question. Ask yourself this question before any action or any inaction. Ask yourself this question. What I am doing, what I am about to do, is it going to help me get where I am going? Is this action going to make me stronger or weaker? Is this action going to make me smarter or more skilled? Will this action move me toward the strategic long-term goals I am trying to achieve in my life?
You're going to go onto the field of life and you're going to stand there and look up and see the stands and say, one day these stands will be filled because I brought something to the table. It's not just your talent. It's that drive, that's that determination. It's even if I do not win today, I'm going to win tomorrow because of what I lost in this day. I will gain it through the experiences. I will gain it by the pain of what I didn't have, and I will stand strong.
Sometimes life can really hijack your mind. When that happens to you, you're all f***ed up. Your goals, your ambitions, everything is out the window. In life, we all go through different things. Sometimes your girlfriend or boyfriend breaks up with you. Guess what? Get the f*** over it. Maybe you fail a test in school. You worked your ass off. Guess what? You failed the test. Get over it. Move past it. Learn to not let life hijack your brain. Life will hijack your mind if you let it. Don't allow all these things to make you a lesser person. You must own your mind. Don't let life own yours.
Whenever you feel negative or unhappy about anything, you say, wait a minute, I'm responsible. I'm responsible for my life. I'm responsible for what happens. I can't change the past. So I'm not going to spend a second worrying about the past. I'm going to become so busy working on my future and my goals that I don't have time to think about the past.
Pleasing comes from scarcity and fear, self-loathing and insecurity. If they don't like me, then I'm not enough. Well, you know, any great genius, the great women and men of the world stood alone even if they were an army of one. If you look at the great producers of the planet, they were ridiculed before they were revered. You can change the world or you can be liked by everyone. You don't get to do both.
When you know within yourself that there's something you want to do, and I believe that all of us were born with a purpose, that all of us have something that we are supposed to do, that all of us have some goodness within us, and that goodness gives us a responsibility to manifest our greatness. And when you know that, you can feel it in your guts, and you know that you're deliberately operating below your potential, you've gotten comfortable, you stop expanding, you stop stretching, you stop challenging yourself. Let me share something else with you. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary. It's necessary that you have it, that you work on it, that you develop yourself, that you go for what is yours in the universe.
People wonder, well, what's the meaning of life? Like, what's it all about? What justifies the suffering and the misery and all of that? It's like, well, that's what justifies it. It's like you put yourself up against that. You think, okay, with all of this pushing against me, how much can I push back? Could I move the horror an inch back with all the strength that I have at my disposal? Man, and the answer to that is, yeah, you can. It makes you better with regards to yourself, but it also makes the world a better place.
So when it comes to your life, when are you going to stop saying easier is said than done and start saying no matter how impossible it may seem, no matter how many people doubt me, no matter how many failures I run into on this journey of success, I'm going to get it done. That's the mindset that you have to have. Stop thinking about all the reasons why you can't do it and find the one reason why you can, why you have to, why you should. Start taking responsibility over your life. What would your life look like if you took full responsibility over your life? And you have a choice in this life. You can make moves or you can make excuses.
And if you're not careful, you will allow situations in this life to cloud your perspective. And you will allow moments in this life to take away the hopes and the dreams of tomorrow. Failure, it's not final, it's formative. It's part of the the journey. How are you gonna learn if you don't ever fail? No, failure is fuel for your future.
No matter how many people have hurt you, right, the pain might not be your fault, but the healing is your responsibility. The setback might not be your fault, but the comeback is your responsibility. What happened to you happened to you. It doesn't have to be your whole story. You're literally a choice away from a new beginning. A choice, that's it. And a commitment away from a new life. Accept and change. Accept what's happened and then change your life from it.
What idea are you sitting on? Write your ideas down. And then, once you get that idea, take the lead. Take the lead. See, a lot of people get the ideas and just walk around with them. Take the lead. See, it's out here in the universe. If you don't take the plunge, I guarantee you, somebody else will. Take the plunge. Go into action. And ladies and gentlemen, you will be surprised at how things will come together.
When you're an adult, you have to parent yourself. Here's the rub. You're never, ever, ever, ever going to feel like doing the things you need to do in order to have what you want. You're always going to need to push yourself. You're always going to need to parent yourself.
I believe you're happiest not when you're watching TV. You're not happiest when you're playing with your apps. You're not happiest when you're looking for likes. You're not happiest when you're fooling around. You're happiest when you're growing.
You're not your past. You don't have to be your past. You're not the mistakes that you made. Just because you made mistakes doesn't mean you are one. But you have to make that choice to own it.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Your imagination is the evidence of things not seen. You know why they say it's not seen? Because your imagination, you are the only one who can see it. So you know what that means? All that stuff you've ever imagined, it's just been God showing you a preview of a coming attraction He has for you. The problem with your imagination is you tell it to the wrong people.
Confidence is arrogance under control. But this is what you should be careful of. Don't you ever cross that line into arrogance. Because arrogant people stop growing, arrogant people stop developing, because arrogant people think they have arrived. Be as confident as you can be without crossing the line into arrogance.
You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy.
Staying loyal to what you said you were gonna do long after the mood you set in has left you. That's commitment. So when it's inconvenient to do so, are you still gonna do so? When it gets real, are you still gonna stay loyal to what you said you were gonna do?
Yeah, I go here. Go to that dark place. I call it the dark room. Where you're alone. No cell phones, no music, no TVs, no computers. You by yourself. Very few people want to be alone anymore. They want to be around noise and people, and you can't think. Shut life off for a little bit. Go to a dark place in your mind and figure out what the f you want to be. You don't know what you want to be because you haven't spent time, real time with yourself. Spend time with yourself. And once you find that passion, that purpose, your goals, your purpose, everything will just start lining up.
But is a dream killer. That a lot of things that we want to do, a lot of places we would like to go, a lot of things we would like to experience, and we just stop at but. But is an argument for our limitations, and when we argue for our limitations, we get to keep them.
What if the truth is that changing your life is one away? One decision, one meeting, one conversation, one extra phone call, one extra rep in the gym. You start stacking up those one mores. That's the separator. In life, we don't get our goals. We get our standards.
Your biggest enemy is you. People don't understand it's you against you. The only person that gets in your way is you.
I need you to confront you because you're the one holding you up. I need you to confront you. I need you to look in the mirror and tell you, you are not gonna do me like this no more.
You need an antidote to suffering, and it has to be deep. And deep moves you tectonically, and it's not a trivial thing. But that's better than happiness. And maybe if you're lucky, while you're pursuing that and while you're immersed in it, you get to be happy, and you should fall on your knees and be grateful for that when it happens. It's a gift. It really is a gift. But you aim to climb uphill to the highest peak you can possibly envision. And that's better than happiness.
See, but will cause you to procrastinate, but will cause you to hide out behind fear, but will cause you to come up with all type of excuses that you can validate your inaction and not acting on your dream.
And most people fail those 1 seconds. And then that 1 second leads to 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of. And that's where people start to lose it. Because now I realize that in that 1 second, I go through all that. I know how it's gonna feel because I failed so many times before. Failure is the ultimate thing, man. I failed so many times before. That's why I don't look at failure anymore as failure. I look at it as my first, second, third attempt.
There's a power to one more. When you start stacking up those one mores, not only have you put more contacts out into the universe, but you start believing I'm doing something most people aren't willing to do. I'm fixing to get something most people aren't gonna get.
The shortcut is a lie. The hack doesn't get you there. And if you want to take the easy road, it won't take you to where you want to be. Stronger, smarter, faster, healthier, better. Free. To reach goals and overcome obstacles and be the best version of you possible will not happen by itself. It will not happen cutting corners, taking shortcuts, or looking for the easy way. There is no easy way.
A good human being, a fulfilled human being, doesn't need to break anyone down. All they do is want to build you up. So anybody you meet that calls you out of your name, that bullies you, that messes you up, that makes you feel not lifted, they are dealing with something deep-rooted.
There's a beautiful piece of Zen wisdom that's been shared for thousands of years. And what it says to us is this, that we don't realize that half the time, the thing that's weighing us down, the thing that's holding us back is what we're holding on to. What part of your mindset are you going to leave behind today? What part of it are you going to say, I might need to leave that behind. I might need to let go of that. That doesn't serve me anymore.
Yo, we all are great. We all should think that we're great. There's no reason for you to not think that you're great. If you don't think you're great, ask yourself why. Why don't you think the highest of yourself?
Welcome every human experience. You never know which one is going to turn it all on. Even the bad experiences. Sometimes from the bitterest experience comes the greatest awakening. So let down the barriers, take down the walls. The same wall that keeps out disappointment keeps out happiness. Let life touch you. Don't let it kill you, but let it touch you.
There is no easy way. There is only hard work, late nights, early mornings, practice, rehearsal, repetition, study, sweat, blood, toil, frustration, and discipline. Discipline, the root of all good qualities, the driver of daily execution. The core principle that overcomes laziness and lethargy and excuses. Discipline defeats the infinite excuses that say, not today, not now, I need a rest, I'll do it tomorrow.
Every challenge that you are facing, it belongs to your journey. It is part of your journey.
What the hell are we all waiting for to start attacking life? For the stars to align? Well, guess what? That miracle ain't coming. There is no perfect time to start. You gotta start now and changing your life. We're all being tested in life. And guess what? This is one test you can't cheat on. We all have our own test. Some of us are obese. Some of us are depressed. Some of us are insecure. Your extra gears are dealing with in life. And the only way to overcome it is for you and you alone to face it.
I believe that everybody has a gift. Every single human out there listening right now, you have a gift. The thing that you have working against you is you have all these other people now. Is that by doing this, you are actually keeping yourself from becoming great. Because the most that you could ever be when you do these things is a watered down, lesser version of what someone else is doing, all right? And how do you know that your own style and your own way of doing things that you would develop little by little by little if you would just take little risks, is it going to be greater than all of those things that you watch?
Best work when you're at least motivated. So those days you don't want to do it, guess what you gotta do? You gotta suck the fuck up and do it. Stay hard.
One of the things you have to understand about life is everything changes and everything ends. And that kind of sounds heavy on the front end, but it's a truth. If everything changes and everything ends, number one, it should make you appreciate what you have right now. And then my view is, what's next is always better. If I make it so, it's my job to make it so. I think passion is the genesis of genius. If you've got enough passion, you're gonna find answers nobody else does, but most people run out of fuel, meaning they get tired, they get exhausted, they get burnt out, they get, you know, the law of familiarity. They're around something so much they take it a little bit for granted. What I see as the one common denominator of people that are successful over a lifetime is the sustained hunger. Hunger is the #1 factor.
The secret of every winner, winning in sports, winning financially, spiritually, or any other way, the secret of every single winner is one word. It is the word resilience. Resilience. It is the ability to bounce back. Why? Because everybody goes through tough times. Everybody has failures. Everybody has flops. Nobody goes through life with unbroken success. Nobody goes through life with no problems. Nobody goes through life with it just a breeze and everything's handed to them. There are problems, pains, pressures, difficulties in everybody's life. And the difference between winners and losers is that winners get back up.
I do think that that means that the soul participates in something eternal, which is the attempt of being itself to transform what's unnecessarily painful and malevolent into what's good, and that human beings actually do participate in that, and that that's part of the reason that our ancient tradition insists that we're made in the image of God. I don't think that you can live a life of sufficient profundity to protect yourself from being corrupted by suffering and malevolence without adopting a responsibility that's commensurate with that set of ideas. I think that you either orient yourself upward, to the star above the horizon, and try desperately to improve the structure of being, or you work at counter purposes to it and make things worse. I don't think there's a middle ground.
Almost like we're in a trance, like we're sleepwalking through life, that we find ways to cancel out our dreams. And I think that but is a dream killer. That a lot of things that we want to do, a lot of places we would like to go, a lot of things we would like to experience, and we just stop at but.
You cannot be great being a lesser version of what already exists. You can only be great when you execute against your own potential and do your own development. And that means getting up there and looking like a clown. If you want to be great, if you want to be one of the best that's ever fucking lived at what you do, you have to understand that it's about developing our own skills. It's about developing our own style. It's about developing our own swagger. It's about developing our own selves.
You should pursue your gift. The Bible says your gift will make room for you.
Always something there to build a case on why you can't move on, why you can't grow to the next level, why you can't begin to manifest your greatness, why you can't begin to live life on your terms. Always something there to block you, to keep you where you are, and keep you from beginning to develop your true greatness. Always some fear. How do we handle it? And I'm saying that if you've been hiding out behind but, if you've been using the fact that you don't have enough money or you don't have the education, take it head on, go get the education.
So you're at rock bottom. Good. You feel like you've completely lost control, like the world is caving in on you and there's not a thing you can do about it. Like no matter what you try to do to remedy this dreadful state of existence, it only gets darker. Good. Accept it. Stop running. There is a mountain whose peak is so tall it is hidden behind the clouds. I want you to look up at it. Embrace the shadow that it has casted on you all this time. Understand that this mountain is no foreign entity. It is you. You are the mountain. And today, you stop cowering from your own potential.
And there's a difference between feeling sad and being sad, feeling angry and being angry. You can feel angry all you want, you can feel sad all you want, but don't do sad shit, don't do angry shit. And I think that's what strength is. You can cry, you can be sad, you can do all those things, but doing what you're supposed to do, despite that, that's mental toughness. I'm gonna do what is right, even though I feel this way. If you can master that, you can master f***ing anything.
You carry a heaviness. I'm stuck. By now, I really thought I would have left my mark, found my purpose. Instead, I've wasted so much time. Wasted. No. Time has been your silent sculptor, shaping you in ways you cannot yet see.
You know, it's funny, man. A lot of you young guys think it's a choice to be great. Bro, it ain't no choice. It's an obligation. You don't only owe this to yourself, bro. You owe it to all the people that believe in you, that have sacrificed for your success. This ain't no choice, bro. The day you were born, you signed a contract. You right by others, you right by yourself, you right by God, and watch the joy that fills your heart. I believe in you, bro. And so do all these other people. It's time for you to believe in you. You owe it to yourself, big dog. Owe it to yourself.
Snow's coming down a bit this morning. Weather says feels like 14. The ears hurt, the hands burn. I do 3 minutes in the ice bath before every morning run, and I don't want to be out here. The thing is though, if I allow the fluctuation of my environment to dictate the likelihood of me showing up, my life would be up to circumstance, and that is a pitiful existence. All anyone really wants is a little bit of certainty, but almost nobody is willing to offer that to themselves. This world is going to do everything to keep you from showing up, but find a way every single time, and life will be very different.
I tell people, you get rewarded in public for what you practice in private. You look at somebody like Steph Curry, and you see this guy who, you know, to shoot the ball from almost half court, trumping on the side of his thing, and he doesn't even look, he turns around and just waves because he knows it's in already, and there's swish, and the crowd goes crazy. And people look at that and go, he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. He's the greatest three-point shooter in history. There's no one like him. But what they don't pay attention to is that isn't like a little gift, right? He shoots 500 shots every single day, never less than that, 7 days a week, for more than 15 years. His 15-year professional career. He's been doing it since before he was in college. His dad really trained him. So think of that, 3,500 shots a week, 168,000 shots in a year, 2.52 million shots in his 15-year NBA career, so he can make 3,600 shots. Not even 1/10%.
What I have discovered is this: a strategy is like a freeway. It allows us to get to where we want to go as quickly as possible. So many times on the freeway, we take exits. And every time I take an exit, I lose my way. Every time I take an exit, I now am further away from my dream than what I probably was when I started. You have to understand that it's the pathway, it's the step-by-step process that allows us to get to the dream. So many times we look at the top of the mountain and forget the fact that it's the first step. Your dream requires thousands of steps in the right direction.
You have to train yourself to become someone who is resilient, who has fortitude, who has grit, who could persevere, who could pay attention to their boss voice, not their bitch voice, and can execute against the things that they know are going to move them where they want to go, even when they don't feel like it. And if you can do that, it will become, quote unquote, easier. You will perceive it to be easier. It will not be easier. You will be stronger.
This is your one shot at life. It really is. And however you spend your time is up to you. Nobody is going to tell you what to do. So if there is something that you have always wanted to do, but you're not doing it because you're afraid of failing, then this is your chance to actually just do it anyways, to face that fear head on. Because if you do that, then you can work towards something in this one life that you have and actually maybe get there. You know, you might not get there, but at least you tried. And that's the thing, right? We have the ability to try. We have the ability to actually try and possibly succeed. But the thing is, if you really give it your all and you really try your best, 9 times out of 10, you're going to succeed because you never gave up. You worked on it every single day. You really gave yourself the ability and the chance to actually achieve that dream of yours. And because you did achieve it all. You know, imagine a life where you actually achieved it all. Instead of scrolling on social media all day, imagine a life where you're working on your dreams every day and one day you actually get there. Like, imagine how amazing that would feel, and like take that feeling and use that as that motivation, that drive to push you forward. And every day is going to be tough. It's not going to be easy, but the more you work on it, the more consistent you are working towards that dream, you're going to get there eventually. It's going to take time, yes, but you're going to get there eventually because you never gave up.
Chaos. It's a word we use when life feels out of control, when nothing makes sense, and you're standing in the middle of it all, wondering which way to turn. Chaos can be overwhelming. It can feel like the ground beneath your feet has disappeared, like the world is spinning too fast, like no matter how hard you try, you can't catch your breath. Maybe you're in that place right now. Maybe your plans fell apart. Maybe you've lost something, or someone you thought you couldn't live without. Maybe life didn't just throw you a curveball, it hit you with a storm. And in the middle of that storm, it's easy to feel lost, to feel like there's no purpose, no reason, no sense to any of it. But here's the thing about chaos. It's not the end of your story. Chaos is uncomfortable, yes. It's messy, painful, unpredictable, but it's also fertile ground. Because when life strips away everything you thought you knew, when it forces you to let go of the plans you clung to so tightly, it creates space. Space to rebuild. Space to grow. Space to find meaning in places you never would have looked before.
The first step to finding meaning in chaos is to stop fighting it. Stop trying to force it into order. Stop clinging to what was. Stop resisting the reality of what is. Chaos is part of life. It always has been, and it always will be. No matter how carefully you plan, no matter how hard you work, life will throw things at you that you didn't see coming. And that's not a failure. That's being human. When you accept the chaos, you stop wasting energy on trying to control the uncontrollable. You free yourself to focus on what matters, how you respond, what you learn, and who you become in the process.
Chaos doesn't just happen randomly. It's a teacher, if you're willing to learn. Every setback, every disappointment, every challenge holds a lesson. Maybe it's teaching you resilience. Maybe it's showing you what you truly value. Maybe it's pushing you to grow in ways you wouldn't have chosen on your own. Ask yourself, what is this chaos trying to teach me? What can I learn from this experience? The answers won't always come right away. But when you start looking for the lessons, you'll begin to see that even in the messiest, most painful moments, there's something to be gained. Here's the truth. Chaos doesn't come with meaning built in. It's not going to hand you a neatly wrapped lesson or a clear sense of purpose. Meaning isn't something you find, it's something you create. In the middle of the storm, you get to decide what this moment will mean to you. You get to decide whether it will break you or build you. Whether it will be the chapter where you gave up or the chapter where you rose. Maybe the chaos in your life right now is an opportunity to let go of something that wasn't serving you. Maybe it's a chance to rediscover who you are without the labels, the expectations, the plans you thought you needed. Maybe it's the push you needed to step into a new chapter, even if you're scared of what comes next. The meaning isn't out there waiting for you. It's inside you, waiting to be created. In times of chaos, it's easy to feel powerless, like life is happening to you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But even in the most uncertain times, there are things you can control. You can control your attitude, your effort, your choices. You can control how you show up, even when the world feels like it's falling apart.
Trust that the chaos in your life right now is part of a bigger picture, one that you can't fully see yet, but one that's being painted nonetheless. Trust that the struggles you're facing now are shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, more resilient. Chaos thrives in the unknown, and the unknown is scary because it's unpredictable. But it's also full of possibility. When life doesn't go according to plan, it creates room for something new, something you might not have chosen, but something that could turn out to be exactly what you needed. Let go of the need to have all the answers, embrace the uncertainty, and remember that some of the best things in life come from the moments when everything seemed to fall apart.
Chaos isn't comfortable, but it's where transformation begins. It's where old patterns are broken, where new possibilities emerge, where you discover what you're truly capable of. So if you're in the middle of chaos right now, don't give up. Don't let it break you. Look for the lessons, create your own meaning, and trust that this moment, as hard as it is part of something bigger. You are stronger than the chaos. You are bigger than the storm. And when the dust settles, you'll see that this wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something extraordinary. Let the chaos shape you, not define you. Let it teach you, not defeat you. And let it remind you that even in the messiest moments, there is still purpose to be found. The storm may rage, but so do you.
If when the alarm clock goes off in the morning and you ain't happy about it, you ain't doing what you want to do. See, you fighting upstream. You're going against what God created you for. If your job makes you sick to go to, if you're unhappy with waking up to go to where you got to go, it's because you ain't living in your gift.
One can have no smaller or greater mastery than mastery over oneself. That's Da Vinci. Any moment, you can choose to believe something new about yourself. Now, the weird thing about belief is, as soon as you change that belief, it becomes true.
Why pay the price? Why work this hard? Why go this far? Why try to learn this much? Why try to do it all? Why try to see it all? Why try to have it all? Why do it? Why learn it? Why study? Why put yourself out? Why try to take on this much responsibility? That's a good question, why? And you're the only one personally that can answer that question for yourself. You've got to have your own list of whys. The why is powerful, the how is easy.
Many people will leave the universe without a trace. No one will know they were here. And in fact, under their name, we could put under there, not used up. Will anybody know that you came this way? What contribution are you giving? What will you leave? What will be different because you came this way? Someone once said that life is our gift to us, that God has given us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. What kind of gift are you formulating?
Have you tried everything? Have you exhausted every possible option, scenario, combination, tool, and approach? If the answer to any of these questions is no, then go back and try again. Because you don't truly know if you can do something until you've tried absolutely everything. A more accurate but more verbose way of saying it would be, I don't care about or want enough this task or the resultant benefits of it in order to do all that is necessary to achieve it.
If you want to be successful, you got to change your mind, and you're going to have some faith. I am here to tell you that you can come from nothing and become something.
That you want to live like a warrior and die a legend. What do you mean by that? Well, one of the first qualities of a warrior is courage. You want to live your life from now on with courage. That most people take their talents, abilities, and skills to the grave with them because of lack of courage. And courage is not the lack of fear. Courage is the willingness to do what it is you need to do, what you are called to do, in spite of the fear.
Everybody in your life will have a turn back moment. No matter who you are, you're going to have such a period in your life where it seems like it's not working. You're going to have doubts, you're going to have a lot of trials and tribulations and challenges, and everybody has what's called a turn back moment. You always have a moment in your life where the direction you're going, you will have to make a decision to keep going or you turn back. The sad thing is, the average person turns back.
But if the why isn't strong, if your goals aren't powerful, if the vision isn't clear, the old prophet said, without a vision we die, without a vision we perish, without a dream we're nothing.
I don't need you to believe that you're good now. That doesn't matter. Who you are now is totally irrelevant. The only thing I want to know, who are you willing to become and what's the price you're willing to pay to get there? And that's what humans are designed to do. If you put us under stress, we can learn something new. We can get better.
Train your physical strength and exercise your mental strength by doing the right things, the hard things. The things you know you're supposed to do. Do them. And be as strong as you can, mentally, physically, and emotionally, for yourself, for your team, for your family. Hold the line. And be strong.
You must work on yourself continuously. Never be satisfied with yourself. Always know that as you invest the effort and time on you, that's the greatest ability that human beings have above animals. See, a dog can't be anything but a dog. Tree can't be anything but a tree. Human being, you've got unlimited potential.
And my personal question to you is, why not you?
Imagine that you're in a movie, and imagine the movie begins now. And you're the hero of the movie. What would that guy do? What would that guy do right now? Because you are.
People struggle to do things alone. And the path of the exceptional person is one of an exception, which means that you are not with other people.
Don't let other people tell you what you can and can't do. If you feel like you should do it, go for it. Life's not perfect. Not everything has to work out, but the window of opportunity is getting smaller every day. Nobody sees the world like you see it. So just do what feels right today and worry about the rest tomorrow.
We all get exactly the same amount of time. Exactly. Now here's something interesting. The sand in the bottom of the glass represents the past. The sand in the top of the glass represents the future. You have no idea what's in the top of the glass. You only know what's in the bottom of the glass. The only thing we've got anything to do with is what's right here in the center right now. Everything else is an illusion. It's a myth. It's gone. If we want to enjoy more of life, we've got to give everything we've got right now.
It's not what happens that determines your future. It's what you do about what happens. Direction determines destination.
When you make mistakes, they add up. They add up. One mistake compounds and leads to another, which leads to another, and they can lead you to a downward spiral. of destruction. Here's the thing. You know what else adds up? The positive things. The good moves. The small sacrifices that you make to do things right. So put in the daily effort. Let that be your reward. Reward yourself. Feel gratification from knowing that you moved the needle, even just a little bit. And whatever it is you want to do isn't going to happen in one day. You have work to do.
You cannot change your life unless you go inside first, you figure out who you are, what your own wisdom is telling you to do, and you start to actually believe it and follow it.
I think when you're on the start path, you can't look at the outcome as the only positive because you will never make it. The positive frame that I've always used is thinking about who I was becoming as the asset that I was building. So in real time, whenever I finished a long day's work, I was becoming more like the type of person who could work for 5 years without reward. And that would be part of the story I would someday tell.
Let's say you want something really bad, and you keep trying, and you keep trying, and you keep trying, and on the 10th try, you don't get it still. And then you say, okay, it must be a sign that I need to stop doing what I need to do. But what if you didn't know that on your 11th try, you would have made it. You would have made it happen and got what you wanted to get. So I feel like persistence is important because if you really truly love something and you truly believe, you should just do it for the love, and you don't get to where you're going, you still are doing something you love. So
visualize it, but also feel it. Like feel yourself there. Close your eyes, smile to yourself, and feel yourself there. And believe me when I say you can manifest that.
The only people that criticize you for trying to be exceptional are those that have already accepted the fact that they're going to be mediocre forever. They look at you trying to better your life as an attack on them because they know they're not doing what they should be doing. They know they're not trying as hard as they can, and they know that they should be a much better version of themselves than they are. You and I both know that you're just trying to better yourself and it has nothing to do with them, but they don't see it that way. They feel they have to defend themselves because they see you doing something they know they should be doing. So when they make comments or make fun of you or try to make it seem like it's about them, understand that it is about them. It's about how they feel about themselves, and that is not your problem.
When's it gonna be? When is it gonna be that you are finally not full of shit? Make the change that you need to make. Become the person you need to become. This is about becoming a person that can control their external environment and make decisions that serve them no matter how hard those decisions might be, no matter how inconvenient those decisions might be. That's the only way you're going to solve this problem long term.
Kobe Bryant was not interested in winning championships. He was obsessed. And obsession comes in the small details that nobody pays attention to.
Don't listen to people that are going to tell you that you can't do it. Don't listen to haters. Don't listen to naysayers. Don't listen to people that give you advice that tell you to slow down or you shouldn't do it or you can't do it or the time's not right or any of those other things. Those are dream stealers. They were sent to you to see if you'll overcome them. They were sent to you to test your resiliency. And if you can overcome that, if you just discard all of that stuff and you get clear on those other things, you've got a really good chance of doing something great with your life. And just remember what you were put here to do. You're not a mistake. You're not here by an accident. You were born to do something great with your life. You were born to make a difference with your life. This is a fact.
Isn't it about time you become that person you knew you always could be? How do you do that? You break the fucking mold, guys. You get the fuck out of bed when it's cold, when it's early. You do something away from the normality of what you've been doing. Get up at 4 in the fucking morning one day. Just one day. and go for a fucking run. Commit to one day and see how you feel. Mentally, you'll feel like, wow, man, that was fucking alive. You can't talk it all the time. You gotta walk it. Commit to one day. Try it. See how it feels. Getting up that fucking early when everyone else is asleep. Or it's that cold. When everybody else says, no, this is not comfortable. We shouldn't do this. You say, yes, motherfucker, I'm gonna introduce myself to it.
There is no prize out there. The only prize is this one, and what you feel, and what you want to accomplish. I mean, to want, and to be ambitious, and to want to be successful is not enough. That's just desire. To know what you want, to understand why you're doing it, to dedicate every breath in your body to achieve. If you feel you have something to give, if you feel that your particular talent is worth developing, is worth caring for, then there's nothing you can't achieve.
That, like, you still have to do life, regardless of how you come into life. And I think some people feel, well, if you come into life and everything is great, then that's the way you live life. But no, it doesn't matter. If you come in great, if you come in poorly, it does not matter. You have to do life.
Every problem that we have can be looked at two ways. We can look at it as a difficulty to get rid of, or we can look at it as a message from our true selves. We can look at it as something to overcome and get through, or we can see it as a possibility of learning. And he says that all the difficulties that we have are actually designed for us by a part of ourselves that loves us so much that it'll create extra difficulties for us if we don't get the message. What else can it do? Any problem comes along not in order to make our life miserable, but actually in order to make our life less miserable. And the suffering that it imposes is an attempt to wake us up. And if we wake up, we'll have a reason to be grateful.
I need a mission. We all need a mission. That's what life should be, is a mission. That's what gives your life purpose and focus and drive and ultimately satisfaction.
You've got to get up, you've got to build that body, you've got to build the mind, you've got to build for something that will last. You are not meant to just live and then work and then die. 65 is not your retirement. It's not even the mindset of a winner. You have an entrepreneurial spirit. You are a gladiator, you are an athlete, and it cannot be just resting on your talent and your skills. You must build everything about you. You must have the mindset that I am not going to go to the grave wondering what could I have been. I will go to the grave standing there and saying, I have lived a life abundantly, and I'm happy that I've had it. There is no regret in me. I went as hard as I could. I burned the candle at both ends, and I found that it didn't go out because there were those who came and connected with that flame, and it carries on.
The point is that there's some games you don't get to play unless you're all in. And the other thing that's so interesting about being alive is that you're all in. No matter what you do, you're all in. This is going to kill you. So I think you might as well play the most magnificent game you can while you're waiting, because do you have anything better to do? Really? Why not pick the best thing possible that you could do?
Perhaps you're not the best. Maybe you're not the best worker, you're not the best candidate, but you can become that because you refuse to quit. It's hard to beat you, because if you have the mindset that if you don't quit, if you don't give up, you won't lose. No one wants to go to war with a person that won't stop fighting. Because the person who won't quit will eventually become a winner. Because of fatigue and everything else that comes about it. There is something in you. I mean, there is something special with you. You carry potential to change everything. But you gotta put in the work. No more taking off. No more promising that you'll be more later. Do it now.
You need an ideal because you have nothing to aim at, but an ideal is a judge, and you always fall short of the ideal. So how the hell can you have the benefits of having an ideal without having the crushing blow that goes along with having the judge that always regards you as insufficient? You need a goal, but we don't want to let your distance from the goal crush you. So you got to set up a goal, and then you got to make the goal, break the goal down into.
There is a question of if. If you're ready for greatness, if you're ready to go after your dreams, if you're mature enough, are you ready to get rid of sadness and sorrow and frustration? Because it's been well said that anger is simply sadness that had no place to go. But in you that has someplace to go, it has to be directed towards your goals. In fact, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies.
Competitive spirit, right? Competitive stamina. How long can you compete, and how long are you willing to compete? Anybody can show up and compete when they know they're going to get a certain result. But can you compete in the face of opposition? Can you compete when you don't get what you want? Can you compete when they don't tell you what you want to hear? Can you compete when it doesn't play in your favor? Competitive stamina, competitive spirit. How long can you compete, and how long are you willing to compete?
How you can live is do it while you're alive. Go back in your brain, crack it open while you're alive. Don't wait until you're dead to figure out why you died. Do it while you are living. Go in there, go into the suffering, go into the pain of your life and say, why did this suck for me so bad? Why am I afraid of all this stuff? Why have I shut down the whole world? I guarantee I'll tell you why you shut down the whole world. It's in these nooks of the suffering within your brain, in the scarring, are all the answers to why you are on the couch feeling sorry for yourself. They lie within the scars. Learn from yourself, learn from life, learn from your failures, learn from your insecurities, learn from your self-doubt.
If you can dream and not make dreams your master. If you can think and not make thoughts your aim. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same. If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken. Twisted by the knives that make traps for fools. Or watch the things in your life that gave your life to broken and stoop and build them with worn out tools.
I'm talking about every single day, the spirit, the disposition of being able to show up on the strength of our integrity and our character and bring everything we got into an environment. That doesn't mean we'll always be our best, but I'm talking about specifically being able to bring our best.
First of all, you don't have all the problems in the world. You have your problems and the problems that bother you. And you might ask yourself, well, why do those problems bother you and not other problems? And I would say, maybe it's because in those problems you actually find your destiny. And those are often things you don't want to look at, but it was something that bothered you. It turned out that was your problem. And if you faced it, well, then you figured out on that road that that was your destiny, properly thinking.
It makes sense unless you change your pattern, unless you change the way you're thinking, unless you change your behavior, you're going to continue to produce the results in your life. See, all of us are winners, but some of us are producing results that we don't want. And so all you have to do is look at your game plan, look at your strategy. How is it that you have been being? What is it that you've been doing to produce this? So you're the director, you're the producer, you're writing the script, you're the star of your life. And as you begin to look at your life, you can decide whether or not it's a smash or whether or not it's a flop. That's in your hands.
If neither fools nor loving friends can hurt you. If all men count with you, but none too much. If you can feel the unforgiving minute with 67's worth of distance wrong. Yours is the earth and everything that is in it, and which is more. You'll be a man, my son. If is all up to you.
I want to remind you of this because so many times in this world we forget, right? We allow circumstances to make us forget this. We allow people to make us forget this. We allow an environment to make us forget this. We allow opinions to make us forget this. We allow social media to make us forget this. We allow our job to make us forget this. We allow people around us sometimes, our friends and our family, to make us forget this. And I want to remind you of this. I want to remind you of this truth, that it is the truth that you are enough. Okay? You are enough for the things that are meant to be in your life. I want to tell you right now, man, stop chasing it. Stop chasing happiness.
Now the true task is never forgetting it, right? Even when we become successful, even when things go really well and we hit a rough patch. The challenge is never forgetting the spirit, the feeling, the thought process of when we went through those moments of preparation, what it took to get over the hump, to get through the rough patches, and to continue to press forward, right? That's why I always say to people, never allow life to make you forget why you do what you do. Because a cat can become so successful, they can become a victim of their own success.
If you want to be great, you got to outwork people. You got to put in the effort. You got to put in the hard work. You got to put in the trial and tribulation of a proven warrior. Because when you do, there is valor in that. And there is honor in that. When you go into the bathroom, you look in the mirror. Don't just brush your teeth. Don't notice all the spots on the mirror. Look on the thing that got to be spotted in that mirror, your reflection. That person there, the one you see, the one you saw, that is the one that you've got to count on. You were born for it. You got to remember, you were a winner then, you are a winner now. Do not run away from your challenges. Your challenges will prove who you are.
I don't worry about being broken. You know why? I've been broken so many times, it doesn't matter. But here's the difference. Like when that glass turned into a diamond, when I was broken, I got a chance to pick those pieces up and put them back together the way I wanted to put them back together.
To where it don't matter how much money you got. It don't matter what type of car you got. It don't matter square footage of your house. Like a real deal situation. Like when a cat's wife gets sick, when your children get sick, when you're in the emergency room with your family, right? Don't none of that other stuff matter, right? But the work that you put in every single day, the mindset that you cultivate every single day, the spirit that you cultivate every single day, the work ethic, the dedication and commitment, that's you, right? That's your essence, that's your ethos, that's who you are.
If you want to begin to move, you've got to clear your mind of all the unnecessary luggage and baggage that's weighing us down. You're going to have people to do things to you. Things are going to happen to you. And the most important thing to do is to harness your will and let it go and move so you can grow. So you can get on with your life. It doesn't matter about what happens to you. What matters is, what are you going to do about it?
There's a distinct difference between a champion and someone who's just good. Let's use boxing, for instance. It's a 12-round championship bout. At the 11th round, they both go to the corners. Someone that's good sits there and thinks to himself, I have given everything I have. Hopefully, I can get through the 12th round. A champion, he sits in that corner while all these people are talking to him. He ain't hear shit. All he's thinking about is, I have to find what I have to give it. It's that mentality that truly separates the champions from the motherfuckers who are just good. Stay hard.
Every time you're broken, you're supposed to be more different. You're supposed to be better. Every time you lose, you're supposed to be better. Every time you fall, you're supposed to get up different. You're supposed to get up better.
And that way, when you sit into the locker room after that hard work has been put in, and it's time for you to take that shot, you wash away all the self-doubt that could have been there. And you refresh and restore yourself with possibilities of what you're about to go after. It must face a greater version of you. You've uncovered it now. The biggest challenge you will always face is you've underestimated your true value. Your greatest value is that you cannot be denied. You are motivated because of the rejections. Let them keep saying no, because a yes is coming, and the yes comes from within.
Has your life ever looked like a storm? Because right now, in many of your lives, that's what it feels like and that's what it sounds like. It sounds and feels like, how am I out here? And how I'm gonna do what God asked me to do? And what is going on in my life? And I'm out here and it's dark now. And I'm out here and there's nobody helping me. And I'm out here and I don't hear a word from God.
What will make you happy? You need to know. You need to start asking yourself some questions. What do I really, really, truly want? And you need to be exact about that. Don't be vague. Oh, I just want to be happy. That's too vague. What will make you happy? How will you know when you got it? Zero in on it. Be exact. Be specific.
You will have a challenge that you're gonna have to believe God for. Whether you read the word every day or not,
You have to control what you can control, which makes the uncontrollable things a little easier. That's why you have routines. But a lot of individuals in here, you have routines out of boredom. The individuals that I mentioned earlier, the greatest athletes, the best business people that we talk about all the time, they have routines that allow them to control the uncontrollable. That's what their routines do. They allow them to succeed. They allow them to continue to progress forward. They allow them to win.
Line up those problems and confront them. Face them. Fight them. Do not let them bring you down. In fact, let those challenges raise you up. Let them elevate you. Let their demands and their trials make you stronger. Let the adversity you face today turn you into a better person tomorrow.
Recognize the fact that you're going to get into some slumps. Recognize the fact that you're going to encounter a great deal of failure in life. It goes with the territory. But in the face of that, you want to be relentless. When you want something, many doors will be closed in your face. And most people will give up. But you've got to decide that I'm going to be fearless. I refuse to be denied. And I'm going to go all out. I'm going to be relentless. I don't care how many no's I encounter.
All of us will feel some hurt. But there are some hurts that can be so much of a discomfort, so much of a pain, so much of a problem that you don't want to go forward. The thing about hurt is that when it's there, it's a constant reminder. It's a stopping point. It's something that wants to keep you from moving forward. And so you will focus on the hurt rather than the obstacle in front of you. You see, you're going to have obstacles in life whether you're hurt or not. But if you stay focused on your hurt and you want to play life so that you have safety, like I'm safe if as long as I don't press the button that would cause me to get hurt. What's the button? The button of go, the button of get up, the button of get after, the button of no matter what, I've got to keep going. You're going to hurt whether you lay in the bed or whether you get up and you take control.
You guys need to understand what you don't have to do. All right? You don't have to work hard, you don't have to eat right, you don't have to sleep right, you don't have to do more than what's required of you, you don't have to be a good leader. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. But you also don't have to win, you don't have to be a success in life. So the greatest things in life take sacrifice and discipline. And that's why so few people achieve great things. Because they don't want to sacrifice, they don't want to discipline. So you see all these people that have great things in life that you look up to, it's because they were sacrificed and disciplined long before you ever knew them. So don't get mad later when you created your whole storm and then it starts raining on you.
You don't want to ever put yourself in a situation where you have a limited vision and you're only using a limited amount of your talents, of your skills, and of your abilities. And I'm saying to you, if you want to make it today, it's necessary for you to constantly look at ways of getting better. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, and it's necessary for you to challenge yourself to go after it and get better and leverage relationships that can help you get to where you want to go.
The hurt isn't what you focus on. Two things can be true at the same time. I need to win, I want to win, and I also hurt. Whichever side you're going to feed is the side that will win. Focus on your wins.
If you don't go through failure, if you don't go through hard work, if you don't go through sacrifice, if you don't go through your faith being tested, if you don't go through loyalty issues, if you don't go through fights, you don't really love something if you can't bounce back from it. So all these words are attached to the word love to me. So if I say I love you, that means I have been through the ringer with you, and I'm willing to love you even still.
If it's gonna hurt anyway, then you might as well get up and get over it. Because one thing that kicks in when you start going, adrenaline. Adrenaline is like the momentum that comes from the inside that leaks on the outside. People can see it. That in spite of what you don't have, you can lose a limb, you can lose a person, you lose things, but no matter what you have, as long as you still have your will, you can get up, you can go, you can overcome. It's gonna hurt. But there's nothing like having success to wash away those hurts.
You're not gonna wake up every day and feel great. You're not gonna wanna go to work all the time. You get tired, you get sore, and probably one of the two is always the case. Either sore or tired. I think it's important, that's the most highest level opportunity you have to create confidence.
Some of us have been told that you would have never amount to anything. You've had people during your early development that would speak negative over your life. And the problem is you believed them. You've allowed them to live rent-free in the back of your mind without any kind of eviction. There comes a point in time where you have to serve that notice. It has outlived its purpose in your life, and it was never true. You have had value from the day you were born, from that very first breath.
If the game or break go against you, don't let up, put on more steam. If the game or break goes against you, don't let up, put on more steam. In life, with your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, the things that you seek to do, the things that you aspire to do, the things that you want to accomplish. Never forget, first and foremost, how brilliant you are. Never forget the people that played a part in you getting in this position. Never forget what you're made out of. But on the road to success, on the road to accomplishment, on the road to evolving and development, if the game or break goes against you in life, the only favor I ask of you, because in life, people don't burn out, people don't quit, and people don't underachieve because of what they do. People burn out, people quit, and people underachieve because life makes them forget why they do it. If the game or break of life go against you, don't let up. Put on more steam.
If you wake up in the morning, you start having negative thoughts, man, this ain't my day. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm tripping, I just don't feel myself. In the middle of the day, if you feel yourself doing that, stop, just stop for a second. And start going over in your mind everything you have to be grateful for. Not everything you want, everything you already have, because what you have is substantial. You just haven't gone over the list and taken inventory in a long time. But the fact that you can walk, that's a blessing. The fact that you woke up, that's another blessing. The fact that you can see, think, reason, that's another blessing. I could give you 50 things you ought to be grateful for right now. I don't even know you. Start coating your mind with gratitude. It'll change everything for you.
There is no one stepping in, coming down the aisle to play that for you. No one can make the decisions for you as a shot caller, as a leader, but you. You have to be confident. But you can't be confident if you haven't put in the work. Confidence comes from the fact that you've gone through so many scenarios by yourself so that when it's asked to be done in public, you can be confident because it's not part of your preparation. You are already the prepared.
Lazy people do a little work and think they should be winning, but winners work as hard as possible and still worry if they're being lazy.
He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right.
There are some things in life that are out of your control that you can't change and you gotta live with. The choice that we have though is either to give up or keep on going. I wanna ask you, what are you gonna believe? Are you gonna believe in yourself? Are you gonna believe everybody else's judgment on you? Are you gonna believe people when they say that you're a failure? No one really likes you, no one really cares about you.
Situations that happen that was out of their control, and when you think about when things happen, the first thing we try to do as individuals, how can I control it and how can I manage it? And if I can't control it and manage it, now I'm frustrated and I'm mad about it. In the words of an older gentleman, he told me one day, he said, young man, you can't speed up the river and you can't slow it down. At a certain point, you gotta have some faith.
You see, all of us want that person in the huddle. Everybody wants that person on their team that believes, that person that says, we're not done, not now. We're not quitting, not now. We're not losing, not now. Why? Because I was born for now. I was born for this moment, and I was born to be beside you. The only question I have, and the only question you should have, is who is going with me?
Maybe you here because you need to hear this. Maybe you here because you need to dust off your dream. Maybe you need to explore your imagination. Maybe you just need to identify your gift so you can quit tripping in your own life, trying to figure out what you can do when God already planted inside you a long time ago.
You will see that in the very act of standing up, in the very act of fighting on, you will become and you will remain unbroken.
When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person that walked into it. That's what the storm is all about. When you can't control what's happening to you, control how you respond to it. That's where your power is.
So you have this big dream, you can see it so clearly, like it's right in front of you, you can go out and touch it. But the thing about it is somewhere, if you dream big enough, somewhere down that journey, that dream becomes a nightmare. And what happens in that nightmare, so you have all these questions like, why am I here? I'm not good enough. Trust me, I know all about the questions. They will flood your mind. If you do not have the answers for them, you will quit. The answers lie in the repetitions. You must not forget the repetitions you put into trying to dominate the craft that you're in today. Always, always embrace the suck, adapt to the suck.
But I tell you, there are some times in life where you fall down and you feel like you don't have the strength to get back up. Pretend that everything's okay when it's not, and you go home and lay in your bed when no one's looking at you, when you don't have to impress anybody, and you're yourself. And fear comes in. Maybe you have doubt in your life. Maybe you don't know for sure what's going to be happening in the future and it scares you. Maybe you're worried about what people think of you, what people say about you. Just that fear paralyzes you. And I just want to ask you today, do you think you have hope?
No, everybody want it. You ask the question, what do you want? Man, I want to be diamond. Tell me something I don't know. Everybody wants it. But the raw reality of it is, everybody don't get it. And the crazy thing is, if you want it, you can get it. It's not like somebody is stopping you holding a gun to your head and telling you you can't get it. It's a matter of will, it's a matter of hard work, it's a matter of sacrifice, it's a matter of dedication, it's a matter of commitment.
My number one competition is me. It's always you versus you. You gotta be the one to get up every morning, be disciplined, put in the consistent daily hard work. You versus you.
you see someone who's accomplished something great in life, who's become a mountain of a man, of a woman, they didn't do it by just appearing overnight. They started carrying small stones of sacrifice every day, and they began to pile them together over the course of time, when no one is watching, when no one is aware that they are still grinding. In the middle of the night, when everyone else is asleep, they still grind. They get up early before our others are still resting. They don't take off days now so that they can sacrifice in this moment, so they can live however they want in the future.
If you think the price of winning is too high, wait till you get the bill from regret.
Use fear or it uses you. It's that simple. What am I afraid of? If I'm afraid of that, I gotta be more afraid of what I'm gonna miss out on. Missing out on my mission, missing out on who I'm supposed to be. If you're not gonna get rid of fear, then use fear. So you gotta say, okay, what's the price if I just stay doing this? What's the price? Turn fear on itself. I'm gonna sit myself in my rocking chair. I'm 85 years old. I'm looking back on my life, and I say, I didn't do this, or I did.
We all fail. It's okay. What is not okay is that when you fail, you stay down. And winners will fail and get up. Fail and get up. You always get up. That is a winner.
We all have limitations. Does that mean that I quit? Of course not. I'm gonna try to be the best that I can be. The strongest, the fastest, the smartest. That's what I'm gonna go for. It is possible. How close can I get to that greatness? My glory happens in the darkness of the early morning, in solitude, alone.
One thing about being in dark places, if you have the courage to stay in there long enough, your eyes will start to adjust to the darkness. Your body and mind will always adjust to more suffering, to more pain. If you want to push harder, know this. Your mind quits way before your body does. So you have to be willing to go way into that darkness and find more of yourself. Stay hard.
The foolish man seeks happiness in the distance. The wise grows it under their feet. The foolish man seeks happiness in the distance, and the wise grows it under their feet. Right? You're not wishing for a future that you haven't earned yet. You're not looking forward to a future that you haven't earned yet.
Yeah.
Like you haven't earned yesterday yet, right? You haven't earned a month from now yet. You haven't earned a year from now yet. So how can we be grateful for all that's transpiring and manifesting right now in the moment and not looking forward to happiness in the distance, right? I'll be happy when I get this. I'll be happy when I get there, right? I'll be happy if this happens. Like, why you can't be happy right now?
Right now.
Even if you feel as if it's not enough, even if you feel as if you don't appreciate all the way what you got, the resources, the situation, the circumstances, why can't you be happy and grateful for what you got now? Faithful over a few, rule over many. That's being grateful for where we are right now, happy for where we are right now, and not wishing for it in the distance that may never come.
Today, I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I am what I think you think I am.
Truth is more powerful than deceit by a large margin. And I think love is more powerful than hate by a large margin. I don't mean naive love, and I'm not naive about people. But I think it is possible for us to rise above the resentment of our suffering and to wish the best for all things. And I think we can participate in that. And you do that by extending your hand to your enemy to the degree you're capable of doing that. And then truth, well, that's the handmaiden of love. And that's something everyone can practice at every moment if they desire that. And that's an adventure.
You see, they take the small stones and they carry them away and they place them in position. That doesn't mean that some of the stones won't be washed away, pushed away by broken situations, relationships, divorces, bankruptcy. They may have setbacks, but they become a mountain because they don't quit. Even those small stones, those rocks, those things that happen in life that roll out of position can be an anchor or a foundation for you to continue to build on because you learn from them.
How many times do you see someone, you go, I wish I had that. I wish I looked like that. I wish that was happening to me. We live in this wishing, worrying world, and we compare ourselves. And when we compare ourselves, we can't connect to someone, because if we always want what they have, how can we be friends with them?
Own your day. Your days are your life in miniature. As you live each day, so you craft the rest of your life. And the days slip into weeks, the weeks become months, the months become years. Before you know it, you've lived a legendary life because all you did was dial into gorgeous, brilliant, productive, creative, loving, healthy, soulful days.
Develop a vision and take on some responsibility and understand that they have a vital role to play in the world, that the lack of their best hurts everything. And I think that's true. The thing is that there's very many people who have not heard an encouraging word in their life, and it takes so little to encourage them that it's rather tragic.
It's very important as you hold on to that dream. There are moments when you're going to doubt yourself. There are rough times are going to come, but they have not come to stay. They have come to pass.
Keep building. Don't you dare give up. Carry your small stones of sacrifice today to the gym. Sacrifice if it means giving up an hour so that you sacrifice if it means giving up cigarettes or anything else that would get into the way of your health and development. Pleasure for the moment is not worth it when you can become a monument by being a sacrifice that turns into something more than what everyone else thought you were.
Every man has two lives, and the second starts when he realizes he has just one.
I think some people are born with the character, let's say, of a sheep, which doesn't mean a sheep is a bad animal. It just means a sheep is a sheep. And other people maybe are born with a character which is a little bit more similar to one of a tiger. It's about to understand where is your nature coming from? What is your natural aspiration? Why?
And life is a very difficult process. And it's not you're not prepared for it unless you have the capacity to be dangerous. Those who have swords and know how to use them but keep them sheathed will inherit the world. That's a way better way of thinking about it. You have to be powerful and formidable and then peaceful, in that order, right? And that's not the same as being naive and weak and harmless. Like, that's a very bad idea. It's a very bad idea. Because naive, weak, and harmless means that you can't withstand the tragedies of life. You can't bear any responsibility. You'll end up bitter. And when you get bitter, then you get dangerous.
Always keep going. Always. You know, there's been times, particularly early in my career, where it just feels like this is the end. But what I've come to find out is that, you know, no matter what happens, the storm eventually ends. And when the storm does end, you want to make sure that you're ready. And so I've really learned to put one foot in front of the other, good, bad, and indifferent, because eventually that storm passes.
Unless you expand your identity, you're going to basically keep where you are. You might improve a little or not. You might go up and down a bit, but you're going to stay within a realm. If you're going to have an explosive breakthrough to another level, physically, mentally, financially, spiritually, then we got to not only give you the tools, we got to shift that internal sense of who you really are and have you find that you are more than anything that's ever happened to you, that you can handle whatever shows up, even if it's incredibly scary or uncomfortable.
Every day can be winning. Every day can be meaningful. Every day can be a win. I may have lost a leg, but man, I still got one. My gratitude and reality are both on the same level. The reality is I lost one. The gratitude is I got one.
It's really going to take for you to get to that next level is to understand that the person that you are
has gotten you as far as it's ever going to get you. So you've got to become a new person. You literally have to adapt.
When things are going well, be calm. Don't think you're on top of the world in the sense. You always got to be wary, because I've seen it. I've seen people come. I've seen people go. I've seen them come. I've seen them go. You got to be chill. You got to like just take what's good in your life and move forward cautiously and carefully. And thank God that you have that. Just it's very, very important not to overextend yourself when you think you've got it. There's no such thing. Everybody's dispensable.
You are not responsible for what happened to you. You survived what happened to you. But you do have a responsibility to heal yourself and to do the work to change so that you can be the happy, fulfilled person that you were born to be.
Isn't merely that your fate depends on whether or not you get your act together and to what degree you decide that you're going to live out your own genuine being. It isn't only your fate, it's the fate of everyone that you're networked with. 7 billion people in the world, and who are you? You're just one little dust mote among that 7 billion, and so it really doesn't matter what you do or don't do, but that's simply not the case. And so that's how you're connected, and the things you do, they're like dropping a stone in a pond. The ripples move outward, and they affect things in ways that you can't fully comprehend, and it means that the things that you do and that you don't do are far more important than you think.
And when you're willing to put yourself under those kinds of stresses to become that new thing you want to become, to be the new person that you want to be, to go farther than anyone you know has ever gone, to be the GOAT, it is possible, but it demands a price. It demands a price. It's about you deciding for yourself, where do you want to go? And what price are you willing to pay to get there? There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. There's just clarity.
It's an opportunity. Every time we lose, it's an opportunity to grow, to develop, to understand that there's more to us than what we lost. You are not your possessions. You are not made by what you own. You are made by who you become.
And see, that's why you have to have big dreams. Because your dreams have to be bigger than all your fears and all your consequences. What makes people go back is you dream too small.
Whatever I lost is room for me to grow, develop as a man, as a woman, as a leader, as a lead person in life. If you want to be more, you gotta have a sense of gratitude, because attitude is everything. The way you approach life, the way that you see things, it will determine whether people receive you, accept you, reject you, or honor you. Those who can remember, I am more than a moment, and in this moment, I'm becoming more.
People need guarantees in order to be great, right? Most people need to be promised something in order to be great. Most people need to be given something in order to be great, like the special ones. They show up on the strength of integrity, on the strength of character, and on the strength of who they are as people.
The first way to get focus is to find purpose. The way to find purpose is you must identify what it is that you have to be purposeful in.
There is something special about you. And the moment you realize, the moment you change the world, you got to put your life back in play.
You got to go back in motion. You got to go back and put your emotions back to, use your emotions to be a spark plug to your will again. I was down, but I got another round in me. I almost gave up because I forgot what was in me. Who didn't want you, who didn't need you, who didn't think you would be. It's time to reinvent you.
The other thing that keeps most people from realizing their true greatness and their true potential, circumstances, their environment. There are many people who believe because of where they're born, because of the area where they are in life and where they find themselves, that's all they know. Given my circumstances, ladies and gentlemen, I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. See, I know something about you, even not knowing you, that you've got greatness within you.
But you know what, to me, the world is not like the movies. The movies aren't real. They don't exist. But you do. And this life it's better than any movie there is. Movies are supposed to provoke emotion. They're supposed to make you feel something. But I have a better idea. Go out into the world and actually feel it. Go feel joy and love and triumph and rapture and ecstasy and glory. Go feel those things. That's okay. Take both sides. Feel all that's what life is. Those feelings, those emotions, those highs and those lows. Those are life. And those emotions and those feelings are better than any movie because they are real.
Great ideas are never going to interrupt you. They have to be pursued. And if you don't pursue them, you're going to get what everybody else has, which is all this fear, all this uncertainty, all this stuff that won't work, because everybody's focused on what won't work, what can't happen. Why? Because they're afraid. They're afraid to fail. They're afraid to try and feel like they're not enough. So you got to stand guard of that mind by feeding your mind. You know, Jim Rohn used to say to me, success leaves clues. If you want things to get better, you got to get better. If you want things to change, you got to change. But you got to do it deliberately and consciously.
You would rather find purpose than a job or career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose.
You're not neglecting your needs, you're feeding the need. The need is for knowledge, the need is for connection, the need is for grind, the need is for greatness, the need is to realize that there is a purpose and a plan, and I'm a part of that thing. And I'm connected to others. A yes, positive network. People that are, yes, you can do it. Yes, you can be it. Yes, you were born for greatness. This is the network. And when you get a great network, you increase your net worth.
If you really weren't happy, and you really wanted to improve your health even more, and you really wanted to improve your financial situation more, and you really wanted to just broadly improve your life, then you wouldn't have any problem at all finding the discipline. The discipline would actually find you. Telling yourself, no, I'm not happy where you're at, then I'm gonna tell you that's actually a lie. You are comfortable. You are comfortable, because if you weren't comfortable, then it would drive you, the discipline would show up.
the only person that you really can compare yourself in some real sense is you, because you're the only one, your previous instantiation is the only person who matches your talents and your limitations perfectly, and you can strive to be somewhat better than you were, and you can attain that too. That's the other thing that's so good about it, is that certainly, even if you're not very disciplined, you can be 1% better than you are in 2 months. And that's 6% better in a year, which is quite a lot, especially because it compounds. And in 5 years, with compounding, you're way better than you were.
You have the ability to do things that you can't even begin to imagine. And see, you don't want to be on the bottom. See, it's easy to be on the bottom. It doesn't take any effort to be a loser. It doesn't take any motivation, any drive in order to stay down there on a low level. But it calls on everything in you, ladies and gentlemen. You have to harness your will to say, I'm going to challenge myself. Sometimes I have to pull myself out of bed and say, come on, Les. Things I know I should do, I don't do. Things I shouldn't do, I do. I found that the biggest enemy you have to deal with is yourself. There's an old African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm.
It's okay, because when you know the darkness, the light becomes even brighter. So go out there, move toward the light, move toward the light.